Well, it seems after the Super Mario Bros. Movie that Nintendo is eyeing The Legend of Zelda to the big screen. This is gigantic news for everyone out there. Everyone that's a Zelda fan has been talking about this in the last few days, and myself included, been on the edge of my seat to find out more information. Let's dive into what I can see. So that's right, The Legend of Zelda, or Hollywood meets Hyrule. The Prince of Hyrule himself is going to be on the big screen very soon. But before we get into the article, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe to the YouTube video, all those things that the YouTube algorithm likes. And at the end of the video, do me a favor, leave a comment down below. Let's generate some interest where we can. Anyway, from Variety, The Legend of Zelda live-action film in development from Nintendo and Maze Runner director Weiss Ball to direct. That's actually interesting. The Maze Runner was one of these shows, it was one of these movies that was like a made-for-teenager style movie where a bunch of teenagers were put into a grassy field and then they had to try and find their way through a maze that opened and closed, and then there was dangers in the maze. Once they escaped the maze, there was a bunch of other things that happened, and I believe it led to, I think it was a trilogy of a movie. I can't even remember what the second movie was. It was an interesting movie. It wasn't anything to write home about, but I gotta say, the idea of the Maze Runner director doing this with the dungeon-ish sort of The Legend of Zelda, or Link going through a dungeon, that kind of makes sense. It kind of fits in that little bit of a Twilight for Link. Nintendo is developing a live-action film based on The Legend of Zelda creator and game developer Shigeru Miyamoto officially announcing it on his Twitter profile. This is Miyamoto. I have been working on a live-action film of The Legend of Zelda for many years now with Avid Assad-san, who has produced many mega hit films. He continued, I asked Ava-san to produce this film with me, and we have now officially started the development of the film with Nintendo itself heavily involved in the production. It will take some time until it's completed, but I hope you look forward to seeing it. I want to see The Legend of Zelda. I want to see Link sit there and give the good old-fashioned line, well, excuse me, princess. You know that's got to be an Easter egg in the movie, even though it may not fit the movie, but it's something all the fans will want. The movie will be directed by Weiss Ball, who helmed The Maze Runner and the upcoming that was a trilogy, and in the upcoming Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and it's also being written by the Jurassic World screenwriter Derek Connolly and produced by Miyamoto, whose involvement in 2023's The Super Mario movie helped make it a groundbreaking box office success. Ball also produces with Joe Hardwick Jr. under the Oddball Entertainment banner. This is pretty big. This, the Super Mario movie, it kept to the lore, it kept to the story, it kept the characters whole. And when you had Jack Black up there singing about peaches, we're gonna get something very legendary with The Legend of Zelda. Hell, legend is in the name of this show, or of the game, and now to be a movie. The Zelda movie is co-produced by Arid, whose credits include every live-action Spider-Man movie and the Spider-Verse animated films. The film will be co-financed by Nintendo and Sony. So this is a very interesting, two of the big names. They're coming for your title there, Microsoft. They're gonna knock you down in the theater, and Sony and Nintendo are taking the keys to the Hollywood jungle. With more than 50% financed by Nintendo, Sony will handle the theatrical distribution. After decades of wariness when it came to adapting to video game franchises, partially from the failure of the 1993 live-action Super Mario Bros. Movie, while that was done in a very different time when it came to video game adaptations. Hell, look at Resident Evil back in those times. You've got the Resident Evil that came out on the PlayStation 1, and it was a B flick. It was made to be more of a B movie, and now look where it is. It's probably one of the most successful successful video game adaptations with several movies out there. But in the recent years, we've got the Super Mario Brothers movie, we've got Sonic, and Sonic's come out with a sequel, and you know, it just goes to show you, maybe on the horizon, we finally get the Metroid movie that everyone wants to see. I know I'm excited for the Legend of Zelda movie. It's going to be one of those things that just sits there up on the shelf and is going to be absolutely legendary. Anyway, if you've liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm your proud Canadian Phoenix Shadow. I'm signing off here, and I will see you next time.